Hey there, welcome to the Masters of Basketball. This is Chris Ramirez and Lad Woods bringing you the culture of hoops right here. Let's get it started. Now, Lad, with just share us the upcoming Masters basketball events you like to tell us about.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for putting all this together. I think you're doing an incredible job producing this content, making sure that everyone in the world gets all this information about Masters basketball, contemporary hoops, things that are going on in the NBA, college, and high school. So we're so glad to uh, so glad to be here and to find a way to plug in. But in recent past, as you know, there was a major Masters event that took place in Guayaquil, Ecuador. It was the Ecuador Masters Experience for 2021, hosted by El Presidente Carlos Ibarra. They had teams there from that participated from Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, and there was a handful of players that had opportunity to come down, Masters players that came down from the United States, but that's a great event. So you have the Ecuador Masters Experience also coming up in April. They're doing 3-on-3, and of course they'll be back. They'll be back in 2022 every November in Guayaquil. Also, recently there was a championship series that was held 3-on-3, age 50 and over, that was held at the Queens Parks and Recreation, Al Order recreation facility. Was won by the team Long Island. They won the 50 and over division. It was a very good game, 25-23, and they defeated the front court Masters, but it was a very good game. Also in January, we have the Tampa Masters that are scheduled for the last week of January. You could go to TampaMastersBasketball.com for all the information in regards to that upcoming event. And finally, you have an event that's scheduled for the Sky Dome in Brooklyn, which is called the Trade 21. It's a very interesting innovation in Masters basketball. The game starts out with a 3-on-3, then it merges to 2-on-2, and then the final quarter is played 1-on-1. And it's produced by Game Over. And Game Over has been around for years. They do quality events, and they're doing 50 and over and 60 and over division for the first time. They're having a Masters division in their Trade 21 competition. So we also just wrapped up the New Jersey Holiday Classic Masters Experience, which was held in Wayne, New Jersey, and that tournament was won by the front court Masters team. Congratulations to Coach Wimp Ransom and his ball club. They had a very strong showing. They defeated the team from Rockville Center, Long Island. And that's about it for Masters Hoop at the moment. But, as always, you can always tune into frontcourtmasters.com for upcoming games and any of the latest Masters news.
Thank you for sharing that, Lad. And now we're going to move on. It's something I was just caught to my attention the last day or two. It was about the inaugural introduction to the Bronx Basketball Hall of Fame. It consists of 13 inductees: Tiny Archibald, Rod Strickland, Ricky Sobers, Miles Dorch, Dolph Shays, Floyd Lane, Richie Guerin, Dick McGuire, Tom Henderson, Howie Evans, Willie Worsey, Neville Shedd, and Willie Cater, and 12 more to be added in 2022. Now, speaking of Floyd Lane, you played for him at CCNY. Also, he was a part of the NIT and NCAA championship team in 1950. Tell me your experiences in playing for Coach Lane.
Well, playing for Mr. Lane actually altered the trajectory of my life in regards to what he was able to share, what he was able to teach myself and my teammates. And the interesting thing that I want to mention in regards to this list of 13 Bronx Basketball Hall of Famers, I am so thoroughly excited the fact that finally there has been an acknowledgement of these community members, these outstanding community leaders. So not only were they really great in regards to what they taught the young adults, in regards to finishing what we started and being professional and all the academic and social support that we got from them, but on a whole nother level, they also interacted in the community with many of the people who are not athletes. And they were always available for guidance. They were always available to impart their guidance and wisdom to people in the community. And that is something that I don't think is emphasized enough. So they were all working professionals, regardless of their involvement with the NBA or not involved with the NBA, but they made a significant impact in the community. And that's something that I'm so glad to see that they're finally getting their acknowledgement.
Definitely. Also, you look at three players from the Texas Western, now Utah. Two of them was on the Texas Western team that won the 1966 national championship that beat Kentucky. That was an all-black five. That was the all-black five starting five team, and two of those guys were on that team. We was looking at two of them. I believe it was Willie Cager and Will. I think it was Willie Warsey.
Actually, yes, three. It's actually three of the players named in this Hall of Fame were on that team. As you mentioned, Willie Cager, Willie Worsley, and Neville Shea. They all grew up in the Bronx, were outstanding talents, and were really also some of them became basketball officials, very good basketball officials, and stayed around the game and raised their families and were always outstanding citizens.
Yeah, and Tiny came in 1967, right after that national championship.
That is correct.
Yes.
Tiny trailed them by 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Yeah, correct. And look at this, 5 players coming out of Clinton on that list. You think about it.
Yeah, what was going on? What was going on in Clinton up at that time?
They were balling. They had some ballers up there, big time ballers. They produced. They're still today producing the most NBA players to ever come out of New York City. Clinton High School is up there.
I think two things worked in their favor. One, the cultural mix of players that you had at DeWitt Clinton in regards to there was an Italian, or still is somewhat of an Italian community. There was Jewish players. There was obviously African-American players and Latino players. And you have, anytime you have cultures that come together in any arena, good things are going to happen. So you had that mix of players up there. Also, Clinton was an all-boys school. So they had significant greater numbers of male players to choose from. And from what I understand, it was one of the few schools at one time or another that was had a very wide zoning. So you could have probably came from almost any part of the borough to be able to attend that school. I think some of the other schools may have had some types of zoning restrictions where players should attend. But DeWitt Clinton was known for years for many city championships, not only in basketball, but also football, track and field, probably baseball and anything else. And they also produced a number of academic scholars also. So that was a great tribute to the teachers up there at their facility, at their school.
Definitely. That's great. They had great rich tradition back in the 60s and 70s and just dominate. It was just a great sports venue there at Clinton back in time. So
I totally agree. Also, I have to go back to the question you asked me about Coach Lane. He was really all about being organized and finishing what you start. And he held us to a pretty high level in regards to being on time, team meetings, when the team would assemble to leave for games, and what you did, what the protocols were prior to the game, what your protocols were before practice, after practice, thinking ahead, making sure you had your studies done, making sure that you interacted with your family members in terms of your home responsibilities. He was a really set the bar high in regards to how we conducted ourselves. And those are some of the best years of my life, my years at City College. Those were some really great times. And he taught me so much and so many other people also.
Indeed, and Coach Lane has a great history. Not only he was a coach, but he was very involved with the community as well. He has a great track record of coaching a lot of NBA players, great college players. So he has a great record, part of the Quartzman um, group
That's right.
as well. So
That's right.
Floyd Lane is really has been very well known. I got the chance to know him for a short period of time. Wonderful,
Yes.
very good to talk to.
And for a young man in his mid 90s, he was still coaching right up to the last few years up at George Washington High School. And he was still conducting the weekend workouts on Saturday mornings. So myself and a few of the other Masters players always had a place, always had a home when we were in town. We would just catch up with Chief, and he would let us know. He would give us our marching orders, let us know where the workouts are at.
Wow, that's amazing. Uh, just God bless Coach Lane, and he
Yes.
keeps it going. And we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about something that's been coming up again about the COVID protocols. We have seen some games been postponed and canceled, and this is just now a major concern now. And I'm seeing that, are we going to be in a situation where we're going to be having a bubble? Are we going to be canceling games? Where are we? What is your reaction on this?
Well, unfortunately, this COVID situation, this international COVID situation we have found ourselves in the middle of is not going anywhere. It was my hope and my understanding that it was possibly had ran its course and it had come full circle. So we need to find safe, effective, powerful tools in regards to protecting ourselves as fans, protecting ourselves as players and participants, and just trying to take every opportunity to sort of move slowly. We got to pump the brakes a little and make an assessment of the national, international COVID temperature. And it's impacted all of our lives in our travels, in our dealings with our families, in our work situations. Of course, as you know, many people are working from home. I don't have any of the answers, Chris. What are your thoughts? And it seems like we're right back where we started.
Correct. I don't have any answers, but the main thing for us, we need to take accountable for our actions. We need the best safe thing is to do when you're going out, wear a mask. I know a lot of states, some states right now, it's not, they don't, you don't, it's not mandatory to wear a mask, but I would be safe to wear a mask. If take your vaccines, get your booster shots, everything you can do to be safe. You know, even so, people who are vaccinated still surrounding themselves with people who have tested positive for COVID. So it's still the best thing for you is to be safe, quarantine as much as you can. That's all you can do. And we don't know, and they need to stay within the COVID protocols as always. And we seeing people, some of these ball players out here now is taking advantage of the non-mandatory protocols, and which is causes to be a problem. They just need to make more judgment and just to be safe and
That's true.
just
That's
that's
true.
the
But
best thing.
let me add this to the conversation. Everything that you said, I'm in total agreement. I'm in total agreement with. However, we still have to find ways to naturally boost and protect our immune systems. We have to watch our diet. We have to watch the fact that some folks are not getting exercise. They're just staying in closed environments. You have to get out into the elements. You got to get out, get some sunshine. Develop a physical workout routine of some consistency. Strengthen your body, strengthen your immune systems. You know, watch your diet. Finding the workouts. You know, whether that's going to be riding a bike or running outdoors or playing hoops with a mask on. You know, we play with a mask on. I think the fact that so many people have been vaccinated, we've been a little lax over the last few months at events, but we've got to find a good sports mask that you can use that's going to be effective, that's going to protect you, protect the players that you're playing against so that we can work our way through this. But please, by all means, maintain your workouts, maintain your physical health and sanity, and make sure you get out and get some sunshine and get the family involved too. You know, if you're working out, you're breaking the sweat, and you're protecting yourself, doing all the other things, I think you're in a much better situation than sitting at home worried about what's going on by not going out.
Indeed, that is so important. You just hit it. You just hit it off right there, lad. And that's where we have to be safe. We have to take accountable for our actions, like I said. So, God, people out there, you just need to be safe and make the right decision. So
I agree.
we want to go ahead. You have any topics any open topics you want to share?
Well, it's always great when me and you have an opportunity to get together because your depth of research and the resources and your recall. Who are some of the players in the tri-state area that eventually you would like to interview and or have an opportunity to maybe present to the public some of the names that are not household names that were involved in sports and athletics in the tri-state area? Who are some of the people? Give me your short list of people that you would like to either interview, or if they're no longer with us, you would like to acknowledge and maybe talk about.
Some of the people we like to interview is people who are involved with the community. We looking at people like some of these other tournaments besides the Ruck. We looking at Ken Graham from West 4th Street. We're looking at people like Mr. Couch, who is an icon and he helped work with, mentor a lot of players. We're looking at
Now hold on before you go on. Tell our viewers a little bit about Ken Graham, and they might not even know what West 4th Street is. They might not even know about Coach Couch.
I'm going to share that Ken Graham. He started the West 4th Street Basketball League, which is just right second to none, right along with the Rucker. The West 4th Street is located. Summer League is located Lower Manhattan, and every weekend during the summers, it's been running for almost 40 years. He's been running an organized tournament. He may not have all the household names, but he's able to be stable with the tournament. There've been some great ball players that come out there. He's kept it in existence. So he's created a legacy down there, and he's done really great things with that league. And how long besides Rucker and the entertainers back, he's the only one who hold down the fork for so many years compared to
quick question. What is the one thing that separated West 4th Street's tournament from the rest of the pack? What do you think the key factor is in? I've got my answer, but what do you think is the key factor for that tournament?
Not having number one is not having the big name players, or you're not promoting it. So that's a lot of more word of mouth advertisement. So that's what's going on with that. But like I said, not to take anything away from that, that's been a great tournament, and definitely got to go by. And then people just stop by. You see crowds just walking through.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, that's my final answer.
All right, my final answer is location.
Okay.
West 4th Street, Greenwich Village, minutes from Brooklyn, minutes from Staten Island, minutes from the Bronx and Harlem. I mean, it became the epicenter of traffic, and the city itself, Lower Manhattan, the financial district is minutes away, where people could actually have access to just come out during the summer weeks to come out and see some of the best talent in the tri-state area. So for me, when I think West 4th Street, location was such a important facet of all the other things that you're going to get with the tournament. But the fact that it was in West 4th Street, we had access, it just kind of put that tournament on a whole nother level.
It did. That was a perfect location. It's a lot of stuff going on down there too. And it was easy. It was an easy spot. And you have NYU, you have a lot of venues down there. So it's a busy area on the weekends. It's a very popular place too.
Yeah.
Even a place for tourists.
Yes.
Yes.
That's true. So who else you want to talk about that if you could interview or acknowledge? You mentioned Coach Couch. What are your thoughts on Coach?
Mr. Cal, she's always been a great mentor. He's coached a lot of great players. His concerns, he emphasized a lot on education. He's always had focus bringing teams together over the summertime. He never focused on the winter because he's emphasized those kids focus on school during the school year. But when sometimes he get them together, he talked about education, cultural ideas. You see a lot of his players come from Ivy League schools or top-notch colleges. And you see a lot of NBA players like stand out. He had Mark Jackson, Shelton Jones, Kenny Smith, uh, Ken Bannister. I could go on and on. The list goes on, and he's well
Yes.
coached. He's another icon who's up there. He'd be a great guy to have here on the discuss his journey.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take some time over the next few days to try to line some of those interviews up for you. I think that would be awesome.
Definitely.
Who else would you want to speak to?
It's still you still want to be just New York City related, or it could be
No, we can open it up. Hey, we don't discriminate. You know, we got people
okay.
all over the
Because you
country, all
mentioned
over the
this,
world.
it's another thing we like to look at some people. LA, they got to get their props too. Dino
Good point.
Smiley, the starter of the Drew League. The Drew League is the hottest thing going on here. He needs give him his, he's got to get his props too as well. Definitely that league is developed. I think is one of the best pro-am leagues. They get NBA players. Well, Nike's been a big sponsor.
Yeah.
They packed it up every night. So that's another great spot to have him on there, have him on our show.
Yes. Well, we're looking forward to that. So we got a few minutes left. What are your thoughts? Can we looking forward to in the near future? And it's always great having an opportunity to talk hoops with you.
Yes. And it was good to see last Friday night. I see DeJuan Wagner Jr. He's known as DJ Wagner. His grandfather is Milt Wagner, former Louisville star, who was part of that 1986 NCAA championship team. And his dad, DeJuan Wagner, was a star at Camden High School. So from grandfather to son to
That's right.
grandson, it's built a legend there. But the thing was, it's good to see a high school team that's nobody, you don't see no makeshift team. You don't see people transfer from different walks of life. You see a community together. Camden High School basketball, it's a great tradition. You don't, and everybody focus on Camden basketball before the NBA. That's the beautiful thing about it. It was great to see him on ESPN and have a DJ Wagner, whose grandfather and his father had a legacy and played in a new gym there, Camden High, too. It's known
Oh,
as
really?
the High. It's a great environment. And we see now a lot of kids moving around and due to getting the better scholarships. But DJ Wagner is keeping it going there, Camden High. He's been highly recruited, the top prospect for the class of 2023. And
That's
he's
awesome.
being highly recruited by Kentucky, Memphis, a whole bunch of top-notch schools. So and then the great thing about that, you saw some old school New Jersey style, New York City style of basketball, physical
Wow.
play. It's not
Wow.
everybody not aiming at 3 pointers. You don't see, you see a lot more aggressive style of playing.
Chris, we only got a minute or two left, but quickly
Yes,
give us your quick NCAA thoughts coming up. March Madness is not far away as all these seasons about to close out. Who do you like? Well, who's coming up? Who can we talk about
it's
next week?
it all depends. It's still early and it's still mid-season. Everybody's getting their mojo. We know Bell is the best top team in the country. They're the defending NCAA championships, but that can change within a matter of time. So we're gonna know about February when we're gonna see who's really playing well and who could be red hot at the right time. So
Right.
that's my comments there. So otherwise, enjoy this show. And
Always.
right, yes. And well, that's a wrap. Chris and Lahh want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Peace.
Peace, blessings.